should my heart be lonely and long for heaven and home? When Jesus is my portion, His peace, His eye is on the sparrow, and I know He watches over me. His eye is on the I know He watches me. I sing because I'm happy. I sing because I'm free. His and I know He watches over me. He watches me. His eyes on the sparrow, and I know He watches. I know He watches. I know He watches over me. He watches me. His eye is on the sparrow. I know He watches me. He watches me. He
people speaking on this occasion, Liz Pridham and Sarah McGregor. Liz is going first. Thank you, Liz.
One of the most important aspects of Barrow High School life has been listening to other people speak. Almost all of our time has been taken up listening to assemblies and teachers, or at least pretending to listen. In our time at Barrow High, we have listened to a principal, be it Mr. Core or Mrs. Brennan, speak for a combined effort of over 30 hours straight. Within this time, there have been many memorable speeches made. From Mr. Core came those unforgettable pregnant pauses and the immortal body speech. How could we ever forget the sheer excitement of finding out that everybody should have done it, anybody could have done it, somebody would have done it, but nobody did do it. Which was all very good, except the problem was no one was really sure what it was. Mrs. Brennan was not without her memorable speeches. I'm sure that the inspirational words contained within the marathon speech have been firmly etched within our minds forever. The suspense of being at the starting line, up the hill, at the top of the hill, downhill, around the corner, at the drink station, at demonstrated an abiding love for a word, the word Excelsior. But the people who we have listened to most, or pretended not to listen, or tried not to listen to most at Barrow High, have been the teachers. And Barrow High School's faculties have not been without some, let's say, characters. We shall never forget the maths staff with the resonant, reverberating, resounding voice of Mr. Moore, trying to rally up unlucky participants in the 12-kilometre walkabout, promising hundreds of dollars of prize money. Or Mark, the Terminator Reynolds, who completely disgusted his maths class by only having 2 days off in the entire 5 years in which he taught them. The art faculty have certainly had their characters, with the effervescence hair of Miss Chonker, and the creativity and artistic flair with which the entire art staff have dressed, demonstrating that pink and orange do go well together, and that whoever said that silly thing about blue and green should never been seen had obviously never encountered the versatility of fluorescent colour. The PE staff have also amazed students over the years with their amazing aptitude to be able to find anything else to do when physical activity was actually requested of them. It is a very common sight to see a PE teacher reclining in a deck chair in the middle of the oval, while the panting PE class completes their 267th lap. Perhaps the most memorable member of the PE staff has been Mr. Langdon, and his blatant refusal to untuck his jumper from his trousers. The science staff are surprisingly not without their personalities. Any chemistry student will gladly tell you of Mr. Brokenshire's slightly unwholesome obsession with orange juice. While Mr. Conlon, Mr. Beersooty and Mr. Knott have all shown their uniqueness at one time or another. Demonstrating a very unscientific fact are the staff of the Home Economics faculty. No matter what the activity being conducted in the hallowed halls of B Block, there is a remarkable tendency for it to smell like cheese. Baking a cake, it smells like cheese. Sewing a jumper, it'll smell like cheese. Typing at a computer, a distinctly cheddar aroma. The Commander-in-Chief of the History faculty is, of course, Mr. Where Can I Park My Yellow Submarine Stat? Under his guidance, the History faculty have endeavoured to teach their students of the joy of history. It is purely the icing on the cake that so much of it happens to involve nudity. Tucked away in the D Block corridor have been the Social Science faculty. These brave troopers have had to wear the full brunt of us inhabiting the senior study a scant 10 metres away, studiously ignoring the screams, the shouts and the strange smell that has permeated the D Block corridor has, I fear, taken a toll on the sanity of the members of the Social Science faculty. Although many of you didn't get time to truly appreciate Mr. Kelly's neurotic tendencies, all those who did will forever gain pleasure from the thought of sending him insane by taking all the videos starting with Z and placing them somewhere between the videos starting with B and C. And who could ever forget Papa Smurf McCarthy and Mad Dog Morgan? There have been two faces among the crowd which deserve many thanks. The dual tag team effort of our year advisors, Mrs. Symonds and Mrs. Stroud. Mrs. Symonds has been a mother hen to us all over the past 6 years, while Mrs. Stroud has put up with our stress and complete indecision over the HSC and uni courses in a way that went way beyond the call of duty. You'll have noticed that I've declined to mention the English faculty. This is, of course, purely out of protest for the fact that after 6 years of education, they have refused to teach us the art of the dirty limerick. However, as one concession to what they have spent 6 years teaching us, I will end with some quotes that are poignant to our year group. From the immortal Zen of Homer Simpson, I offer you these words for your future. There are 3 phrases that will get you through your life. 1, great idea, boss. 2, it was like that when I got there. 3, cover for me. I think we've been a year to remember, and as a group we've changed each other's lives. As a great man once said, some people come into our lives and quickly go. Some stay for a while and leave footprints on our hearts, and we are never ever the same. Good luck for the future.
It's been a long time coming, and now that it's finally here, it's come too soon. And for most of us, I bet all, feel we haven't prepared enough, or we should have studied in our free periods. Sorry, our study periods, that's right. And perhaps we shouldn't have slept or talked our way through school, and maybe, just maybe, we should have gone to class once in a while instead of going to Jake's house for waffles and home brew. 6 years, wow. Time sure flies when you're having fun. And it has been fun, hasn't it? And I'm sure most of us will be feeling a little sad when it's all over, which might I add isn't too far away. but at least we'll have some great memories to take away with us and the knowledge that we had an impact on our school. By having an impact, I mean having an impact. If it wasn't for making the Sydney news after our muck-up day, which wasn't our fault, it was for holding the record of having a senior study taken away from us the most number of times in a single year. And I believe that this record could stand for many years, as for a year to attempt to break the record, they actually have to get into the senior study without becoming asphyxiated by the smell that seeps from the fridge, or the dead mouse sitting in the coffee cup, or the foreign smell that is coming from the cupboard. Just between you and me, I think that the open cans of spaghetti and red curry sauce, or the pilchards and sardines and aspic cat food from Muck-Up Day are responsible for the smell. It must be a trend with our year, as I'm sure we're right up there with the most number of detentions, suspensions, expulsions, and positions declared vacant within a year group. But happier memories of these people include Pete, so tough I could rust young; Nick, my dad got chased by a shark, eaten by a shark, and lived in taxis; Bo, I can't believe it's not Bart Franklin; and Todd, pick and lick and roll and flicken Stevens. Oh, what fun we had in that study. We played everything from cards to Uno to spoons to strip poker led by our school captains and vice captains, Stuart Shanks and Chris Speed, to cricket, to handball, even to AFL. Unfortunately, spoons only enjoyed a short season as it resulted in many arguments and casualties, such as scratches to Nicky Searle's hand, which is now ruined her aspirations of becoming a highly successful hand model, as did AFL, which came to an abrupt end after an influx of head and facial injuries. Year 12. And I'm the first to admit to this, but we've said some stupid things, we've heard some stupid things, and most of all, we've done some stupid things. Sorry, Piles, but can anyone remember Barrett's efforts for how long does 60 minutes go for? And what time does the 7:30 report start? Or who can forget the well-publicised efforts of Katie Spoonbeck's last-minute attempt to beat me and claim 400 metres gloria at the athletics calendar in Indy 8? Or in Year 11, Sarah Bitten's eagerness to meet and greet the concrete at the bottom of the canteen stairs? Now, I don't hold many grudges, and I haven't been known to hate many people in my time at this school. But those I do, I have good reason to do so, and plus I like my small, easily movable car. Hayley Green, those banana slippers from the trivia night will be mine. Number 2, Nigel Tasker, for kicking me in the head with an AFL footy. Number 3, Matthew Stokes, for thinking it's funny. Number 4, Jake Warwick, for continually moving my car. Number 5, Michael Hoogland, for continually moving my car. Number 6, Michael Bateman, for continually moving my car. Number 7, Robert Moore, for thinking it was funny. Number 8, Lisa McLeod and Chris Beek, for being so limber in limbo. Number 9, Mr. Hawkins, for getting me into trouble even when it's not my fault. And wait, there's one more. Number 10, Mr. Williams, for making us read Catch-22. There, that's all. Now, school hasn't been all that bad, and there will be things we'll miss from school life. These include our monthly formal assemblies, where we become inundated with thousands of 7, 8 and 9s, receiving their bronze, silver and gold awards, where afterwards parents and award winners are invited back for a cup of tea and the inevitable sticky bun. We'll miss our Monday morning assemblies where the school person of the week is announced, and by the way, I'm still waiting. The annual walkabout organised by Mr. Moore, who walks 12 kilometres for fun anyway. Mr. Launder's bizarre need for physical fitness at any cost, even if this means killing yourself trying to do the 1.6 under 6 minutes. Never again are we to hear those 3 nasty little words, up, hold, down. Never again shall we be forced to stand in front of our classmates and do a speech, which reminds me why am I here. And the last thing that I know everyone will be sad about for being over, dancing. No more waltzing, cha-chaing, do-si-doing or heel-and-toeing. Forever, unless of course you become a backup singer and line dance with Billy Ray Cyrus. Now I didn't want to mention this too much earlier because I thought you might get up and run out at the beginning of my speech, but the HSC. Only 7 sleeps to go. With all this in mind, remember that it's only 38 until it's over and only 39 sleeps to the formal. I trust you're all busy studying as I am. I promise I only break between 11:30 and 4 to watch Entertainment Tonight, Midday, Days of Our Lives, Ricky, Oprah and Breakers. That's all I say. Coming to this point of my speech, I guess there's not much more for me to do except to join the rest of the school in saying goodbye and good luck to the class of 1998, and I'll see you at our 10-year reunion. As Mr. Erskine has just said, started with you guys in Year 7, and I went on for 4 years with you. Well, I still remember our first day of Year 7, like it was yesterday, and I guess time does fly fast. And here we are now. You're about to start your HSC, the hardest exam in the history of probably your life. And here I am, still at school. Well, I wish I was with you sometimes, but then I think exams, I don't really think that.
So I guess I'm here on behalf of the school to say, embrace your future, take every opportunity. Thank you for being part of our school, and thank you for making it such a, being such a good Year 12 and giving us two good captains, Robin and Stuart. And I hope that me and Justin can do you proudly. And just to do really well, I feel a bit emotional right now, because I don't know how to say goodbye to my friends, so I guess I'd just like to say on behalf of me and Justin and the rest of Barrow High, good luck, and just have fun in your life. Thank you.
Symonds. Good evening and welcome to all the parents, students, and the teachers that are here as well. As we head towards the HSC, we reflect on the people who got us here, and I think that a very special mention should be made tonight to all the teachers and parents here, with some of them getting more involved than they actually have to. For instance, it's already been emphasised actually, on the efforts of Miss Stroud, who is definitely one of the most involved teachers at Barrow High. Her tireless efforts, she's invested many hours making sure that we are both mentally and physically ready for the HSC. She's also taken on the leadership role. As you all know, some of the parents might not know that the prefecture was established this year, which is the first at Barrow High, and Mrs Stroud very keenly took on the opportunity to lead the captains and prefecture, and we thank her for that. She's done a good job. I'd also like to thank, Miss Stroud is also our senior year advisor after Miss Symonds left after actually last year the Year 12s got up holiday money together and they elected to buy a new laptop for the school, and we've actually got a cheque to donate to Mrs Brennan, who I'd like to ask to come up now to collect this cheque, $250 to put together with last year's money to buy a new laptop. I'd now like to hand over to Rob, but before I do, I'd like to wish you guys all the very best and luck, and I'll see you when you come out.
Okay, I'm going to get a little bit serious. Teachers, thank you for the endless support you've given us over the years. No one knows where you find your unfailing energy, but we are grateful for it. Thank you for your eternal patience in putting up with the adventurous and not always compliant side of our natures. Thank you for your friendship, particularly when we arrived in our senior years and needed someone to talk to about the things that are important to us. Finally, thank you for sharing a large part of yourselves, your wisdom and experience as we progress through our high school years. I'd like to say thank you to our parents also, those people who brought us into the world, whether on purpose or by mistake. Nevertheless, they have taken the sacrifice and hopefully had a joyful experience in raising us. We won't be able to fully appreciate this seemingly impossible feat until we are parents ourselves, I'm sure. But what we can say now is thank you for guiding us to where we are today. Thanks for letting us go to parties. Thanks for dropping us off one whole block from the discos. Thanks for cutting our sandwiches the right way to prevent teasing. And most importantly, thanks for helping us see the other side of the HSC and keeping us level-headed. At the risk of sounding a bit conceited, no one else could have done a better job. So seriously, thanks mums and dads for 17 or 18 or even 19 years of hard work. I hope
to add a few words tonight, because the young people we see in front of us are indeed very special people and certainly very unique individuals, and I've had the privilege of watching the development and the maturity over the past 4 years, and it has been a privilege. We've had our ups and downs and will continue, I hope, to be in touch quite closely as your lives progress and develop. And I find tonight it's very hard to believe that just over 2 years ago we came together in this same hall to actually look at the scope and demands of senior school, and here you are. You've made it, and I congratulate each and every one of you. Because I look around the hall tonight, I see students who have really made their mark in such a range of endeavours. I look at debaters, public speakers have the opportunity to either contribute hope to the community or to inject cynicism and in effect closing yourself against it. But I hope that as graduates of Barrel High School, you will take citizenship seriously, acknowledging that it's part of your duty to not only know your neighbours, but to actually care for them, a sense of civic responsibility. Instead of contributing to the negative images of young adults by selfishly demanding rights, seeing instead that rights have corresponding duties and responsibilities. It is in this, I hope, that the sense of community that you have experienced at Barrel High School has prepared you to be part of building communities, being citizens and participating with confidence in whatever challenges society may present to you. As a
person about whom we've heard so much tonight to speak to us. Thank you, Mrs. Stroud.
And I'm also going to be serious. If you're wondering why I'm going to be serious tonight, Year 12, I will be doing a witty speech at your Year 12 formal. Chairperson, distinguished guests, parents and guardians, and of course Year 12. I was very nervous when Mrs. Symonds approached me late last year about being a year advisor. I wasn't nervous because of you, but I was nervous I didn't have the vast experience and the care that Mrs. Symonds brought to the position. She was an excellent role model for me. 1998 has certainly gone quickly, and I can honestly say I thoroughly enjoyed being a year advisor, and I thoroughly enjoyed getting to know each one of you. I've at all times been impressed with your maturity, honesty, and ability to achieve in such a wide variety of fields. We've had many enjoyable and memorable moments this year, namely the trivia night with fierce competitions between the Year 12 teams, the infamous rock concert. By the way, I should explain to parents, Year 12 held a rock concert and charged students to come and see the rock concert. When the curtains were opened, there were rocks on the stage, and they ran away with the money. And another memorable moment was the Year 12 luncheon on the last day of school. There's also been very rewarding helping you to organise and plan your yearbook and Year 12 formal, which I'm sure both will be a wonderful success. There have been other things to which Year 12 shall be remembered in future years, and you've heard quite a few of those tonight, such as holding the record for losing the senior study the most times for a year group, and also as a Year 10 student quoted today, generally known as a mischievous year. While tonight is your night, Year 12, it is also a night where others who are present must be experiencing some very different emotions. Your teachers who are here will be experiencing a certain feeling of satisfaction and achievement. They have seen you grow and develop over the last 6 years, and tonight marks a milestone for their efforts and care. For you, parents and guardians, you will be feeling immense pride. You've successfully supported your daughters and sons, and you've made it possible for them to be here tonight and graduate. I would like to pay tribute to the parents and guardians of Year 12. Thank you for the love, concern, devotion, and as Patrick White said, in the end, there is no end. Let us hope for each and every one of you there is never an end to your school friendships and memories, and you'll always look forward to the future with hope. See it not as an end, but the beginning of new challenges, new independence, individual responsibility, and the forming of new friendships. And just a little thing to think about. If you're ever disappointed, down, sad and blue, or you're worried about the future, think about the bumblebee. The bumblebee. According to theories of aerodynamics, the bumblebee is unable to fly. This is because the size and shape of its body in relation to the total wingspan makes it flying impossible. But we all know that the bumblebee, who's ignorant of this scientific truth, goes ahead and flies anyway. So remember, when you're feeling down, anything is possible, as in the bumblebee. Finally, congratulations on surviving it to the HSC. I wish you all the best for your future, the exams, dare I say it, and your future aspirations. I hope all of your dreams come true. Strive for happiness, try your best at all times, and never forget your school years and your friends. I hope all of you can share the same pride I have for being part of the Year 12 group of 1998. It is truly a fantastic year to remember.
Another in the road. Tongue grabs you by the wrist, directs you where to go. So make the best of this task and don't ask why. It's not a question but a lesson learned in time. It's something unpredictable, but in the end is right. I hope you had the time of your life. So take the photographs and still frames in your mind, hanging on a shelf in good health and good time. Tattoos of memories and their skin on trial. For what it's worth, it was worth all the while. It's something unpredictable, but in the end is right. I hope you had the time of your life.
Notice everyone sort of spins away. Come on, ladies, how do you feel about tonight?
Cold.
It's a cold night.
And frankly, I'm a bit cranky about it all.
Are you really?
Yes,
What are
because
you upset about?
we're running late and there's just parents everywhere and you have to put on makeup and get dressed and I've been stuck to death with bobby pins and I'm just cranky.
Are you?
Yes.
Have you left a few in? By the sound of it.
Oh, it really hurts.
Once you start bleeding from the head.
I am. See your dad. See your dad.
Just out like this.
Haven't you seen my dad before? This is the Kendall and the Hall family.
Kendall meets the Hall.
Okay.
Well, ladies, are you going to make a big night of this, or is it just going to be another
One big night.
Simple, tasteful, elegant. Possibly a big night, yes.
Here you go.
Are you feeling cramped without having parents here?
No, that's okay. Because they go.
They go, as long as they go.
Yeah. They say, oh, don't you look pretty, and then they go. That's good.
They've committed themselves, they've played their role, they're gone.
They've got.
Tell us something about your parents. Have they survived this as well as you have?
Yes, they've survived better than I have, I think.
And how's the Kendall Hall family?
The Kendall Hall family's doing very well, thank you.
Yeah? Got through this all right?
I think so. I think very little to do with it.
Welcome here.
John, could you...
Yeah, sure.
I know.
Told.
You can write on it.
Is this the one that we signed the
Oh,
button?
you got a pen. That's great.
Yeah.
Who's got the backside?
I had the backside, I think.
No, no one's got it. Yeah. No, Liz, you got the shoulder.
Shoulder. I don't
I distinctly remember aiming for it.
You might go around and find a few stories out from parents. Am I going to hear anything unusual from parents to you?
No.
Do you want to see them on your tape?
If they were our parents, no.
We did not do it. We are not guilty. Anything they said about us is not true. That's
Total
all
disclaimer.
I want to say. Disclaimer course. That's all I wish to say. Thank you.
Hey! I mean, look at this.
Yeah, I look alright, don't I?
Look all right. You look $1 million.
Antonio?
Well, of course. And Tanya, absolutely setting you off to a T. I'll just have to take a photo of this. Wonderful photo.
1, 2, 3. I'll just get a headshot.
You can do better than that? That's a bit. Thank you.
How are you going to put yours in? Okay.
Oh, and another set? Well, I don't mind my Colorado. $15 tonight?
Yeah, mate.
Okay. And the Coke paying you for the advertising?
No, they're my sponsors.
Your sponsors?
Yeah.
Are you wearing your Nikes at work?
No, I'm not wearing my Nikes. They wouldn't come into the party.
What's your hopes for tonight?
Oh, I don't know.
For a pickup?
No. Just hoping to go to the ground later on and have a few...
Fried ales?
Yes. And a few rums as well.
Is that cool?
Yeah.
What are you going to say as a message to your fellow Year 12?
Well, I like to thank you all. We've had a great time together. Yeah, and I love you all. Every single one of yous. And hey, we. And I won't let you down. And I hope you all have a great future. Whatever we all do. Oh, yeah. Yeah, for sure.
What do they call those things?
Corsage.
Corsage. Apparently connections have got you there.
Yeah, connections. Look, I know people that know people. And I've scored that cheap.
Rob wasn't ready on time.
Oh, word. You know, just get... Everything blows up proportionally.
I'm just going to go from Perth.
It's all her fault.
All her fault.
It's all her fault.
Alright, what do you do? You've got no idea. You're creating this rumour that Robin wasn't ready. Is that right?
Rob didn't call me at 4 and said she hadn't had her hair done yet.
Oh, that's it.
It's all lies like Reese.
Don't be blaming me, alright?
Conspiracy.
Conspiracy theory? That's right with that.
US government.
Blame the US government.
The US government.
So was it the US government that kept you late?
Oh, it was indeed, yeah. I wouldn't have been made otherwise.
It's because they recovered spacecraft.
What are your hopes for tonight, mate?
Oh, I've got a lot of hopes, but I can't really tell.
Can't say? Just enjoy it?
Yeah, pretty much. Just go with the flow. You know.
Do any karaoke numbers tonight?
It's too hard to tell.
Too hard to tell. It just depends on the spirit taking.
Oh, yeah, the spirit.
Need to record the fact that Lisa Henry gets here later than everybody else. Okay, it's only 6:45, but we'll put up with that. Are you ready for a big night, Liz? Yeah.
Yep.
How long have you spent at the beauticians and face restorers?
No, I was just there about nearly an hour.
Nearly
Getting my
an
hair
hour?
done. Yep.
That's not bad. Pretty small amount of time.
Yep.
Okay, so you're ready for a big one tonight?
Yeah.
You'll enjoy it.
Thanks.
Valid media tonight.
Like this, the fourth, the fifth, the minor fall and the major lift, the baffled king composing hallelujah, hallelujah, strong, but you needed proof. You saw her bathing on the roof, her beauty and the moonlight overthrew you. She tied you to her kitchen chair, and she broke your throne, and she cut your hair, and from your lips she drew I used to live alone before I knew you. And I've seen your flag on the marble arch, and love is not a victory march. It's a cold and it's a broken hallelujah. Hallelujah. Well, there was a time when you let me know what's really going on below, but now you never show that to me, do you? But remember when I moved in you, and the holy dove was moving too, and every breath we drew was hallelujah, hallelujah, maybe there is a God above, but all I've ever learned from love was how to
and also the room looks lovely. There aren't going to be any formal speeches. I'm just welcoming you here tonight now, and after dinner we're going to have a special presentation done by Adam and Robin, and then I'll be doing a few thank yous and that's it. Because remember, this is your last chance together, so you need to be talking to all your friends and enjoying it. We don't want to bore you with speeches, so enjoy. There's two numbers in this, a 1 and a 3. F13. Congratulations, Ed.
A little light-headed at all?
He's looking a light-headed colour, isn't he?
I think you need some food, Matt. Yeah, okay, let's go.
This is us getting food. Well, Robin, are you feeling teary tonight?
Yeah, very.
Yeah.
I don't think I'll be able to sing.
You don't think so?
Oh. Huh?
Did it choke up with you?
Maybe. I'll be right. Gotta remember the words.
You've got to remember the words. You want a big idiot card in front of you?
Yeah.
Tell me, Rob, what are you going to remember about Barrel? I mean, you've heard this speech before, but are they going to be good memories?
Yeah, I always remember everything positive. I never remember anything negative.
Even jumping out a D-block window?
Yeah.
You can't live that one down. How does it feel to have such an important answer like gold medalist?
I'm going to the People's Choices Awards on Friday night.
Are you?
Yeah. See all the people
famous. Good chance there?
Oh, she's only a guest speaker, so she's not going for anything. So. But I get to be there with all the famous stars.
All the best with it.
Fun.
Bit the dust not too long ago.
Oh yeah, bloody yeah.
Let's go through the memory.
Right, it was back home, mate. It was back in Year 9.
Yeah.
Stuart Redfern gave me the shit, so he turned around, gave me a crown hit and gave me a black eye.
Really? How many days did you spend on that one?
I didn't get done for that.
Didn't you?
No.
Stuart Redfern, eh?
Yeah. and it was like black for about a week or so. So I did it well. Yeah.
Sorry, I hope I don't do that. On behalf of everyone, I'd like to congratulate Adam Arkives. We had news yesterday that his major work, of all the major works in the whole Southern Highlands, was the work that was selected the most popular by all the people that visited the exhibition. And I know that Adam's performing tonight, so I'd like to congratulate him. Thank you. Okay, just so I go through a few points, probably try a few things together for you. Throughout the year we've been doing a lot of fundraising, and I'm sure you're all aware of the two large chocolate drives we had, Jeans Day, Easter Raffle, the Trivia Night, and who could forget also the rock concert. In total, we raised over $4,500, so I think you all deserve a pat on the back. Give yourself a round of applause. Now, what that money was used for, we used that for the pre-formal drinks and nibbles we had outside with your parents. It was for the DJ, your invitations, which was all the parchment, and also the school present. You gave the school $250 to buy a new lectern. Now, a lot of you have already gotten your yearbook. Now, if there's anybody here who didn't get a yearbook, after the speeches, I will be out in the foyer selling those. They're $8, so if you didn't get one, please come out there. Also, after the speeches, the photographers told me to let you know that they will be out there as well, but not for very long, so if you'd like to get some more group photos or individual photos, please go and do that. Now, I'd like to call upon Adam and Robin. They're going to do a special presentation for you.
Go to the back. So, because you might not be able to hear the guitar because it's not plugged in. So if you're right at the back and you can't hear, just come a bit forward. And can we just write down a bit? Thanks down. Yeah. Can I stand over here?
So there we go.
This is our last goodbye. I hate to feel the love between us die, but it's over. Just see this and then I'll go. You gave me more than live for, more than I've ever known. Oh, this is our last embrace. Must I dream and always see your face? Why can't we overcome this wall? Well, maybe it's just because I didn't know you at all. Kiss me, please kiss me. Kiss me out of desire, baby, no consolation. Oh, you know you make me so happy.
Until year 11, and we'd like to thank you for everything that you've done throughout our years at school. Thank you. And another special thank you to Mrs. Stroud, who's taken up Year Advisor this year, and she's done so much for us. She's been prefect coordinator, as well as running so many committees that we've had, jumpers and formal and yearbook, so thank you very much.
I wasn't expecting a present. I was coming up to give out thank you presents myself. Thank you very much. Now, I've got a few thank yous. Now, there's a lot of you who I may forget, so I do apologise, because I know there are a lot of people who sold chocolates, they raised a lot of money, and if it wasn't for you, we wouldn't be here tonight. But there are a certain few people who not only worked very, very hard for the formal, but also worked tirelessly on your yearbook. And I'm sure you agree that the yearbook is excellent. It's the best one we've ever seen come from Barrow High School. So you should be very proud of that. So I'd like to call these people out. Lisa McLeod. Jade Staples. Sarah McGregor. As I said, these people work tirelessly, not only for the formal but also on the yearbook. Chloe Callison. Liz Britton. Catherine Cummins. Vanessa Reynolds. Naomi Kendall Hall. And I apologise, they're all girls, aren't they?
None of the boys are complaining.
And last but not least, this is a very special award to somebody who basically organised the whole formal. And so if it wasn't for this young lady, it wouldn't be as wonderful as it is tonight. Alison Miller. Now that's the last of the presentations. Just want you to think about a few things. It's the last time you are together, unless you come back for a school reunion. So I want you to try and think of some things such as remember your friends, your teachers, the fun times you had at school playing pranks on each other. Remember the graduation evening. Remember tonight. Remember the exchange students we had, David Gilbert and also Anki Wolf and other people. Remember people like Leah Hooper and Kelly Thompson who were part of your year and they're here tonight, but they're not part anymore. And also, remember Mrs. Symonds, your year advisor. And also, remember you were the first year to be allowed to wear jumpers at school. And you were also the first year who were kicked out of the senior study 3 times. So enjoy yourself for the rest of the evening. Goodbye and good luck. And make sure if you do see me walking down the street, don't twist your head the other way and ignore me. Make sure you come over and say hello and tell me what you're up to. Bye.
Fighting. Just remember the yearbooks are being sold up the back too, gang. So make sure you grab one of those. Meantime, about half a dozen requests already for this stuff. And we call it stuff.
Just walk in,
Two.
Oh, come on, you said 15 earlier. Come on.
Oh no, there's about 6 of us staying there.
So what did that set you back?
$160 a room.
Is that breakfast?
I don't know. But I think it's only breakfast for 2 people. It's got a ring to it.
Right, so
possibly.
Stretch a bit.
That's a future profession. Oh no, I didn't ask.
Hey, listen, you're going to give this a thumbs up, guys? Is this a good night? Are you feeling?
Yeah, this is an ace night.
I can't see any tears. I'm waiting for tears. Are you going
Come back in 5, I'll see what I can do.
Like a tear. Just shed.
No, come back in 5.
Robin, I thought you cried with that last goodbye.
Pardon?
You didn't cry. You got through.
It's too nervous.
I got to tell you, Colin
I'll tell you what, I'm
loved
glad
it.
to
She
see the
said,
back of his
I love those Harper songs.
I'm just kidding.
Ben Harper's my favourite guy.
Did she really say that?
Yes.
I'm throwing.
I said,
Kate, you want
Simon, are you going to take credit for this night?
I will personally take credit for the whole night.
The whole night, thank you. And Alison was just...
Nah, she was just a decoy.
She's a sort of person that just likes taking credit. It's like all good women. Starting from the top of the score right the way through. Okay, Alison, how did you feel about the night? Was it worthwhile night?
I think it went well.
I'll admit that I didn't make the DJ talk. I didn't make the DJ talk. That was their fault.
That was good.
At the start.
What?
Right at the start.
How soon will we have a reunion this year?
I reckon 5 years.
5 years, yeah, that'd be good.
5 years time? You don't want to wait for 10?
No.
What can happen in 5 years? You know?
Well, actually, what will happen?
Most of us will be finished uni and everything.
Yeah. Some of us may repeat. Keep going.
Do get to see it again.
So you're going to invite family along? They can bring
To
their
the
families?
reunion.
To the reunion?
Maybe not.
Depends if Alison's married or not.
Do you think she will
In
be?
5 years.
Will you be married more to the point?
Probably not.
Alison will be married with 2.3 children.
Oh, the 2.3 children, yes.
And a Tarago.
One that...
None of you feel like it's the end of anything, do you?
No. It's only the beginning.
Rock and roll.
Yeah, when they're setting grocery and then they burst into
Got a tear for me, Victoria?
No, not yet.
Not yet.
Victoria Cox.
Still no McCollum.
She was an alien.
Michael, is there a tear yet? Got a tear there, Michael?
Not yet.
Not yet?
Not yet.
No melancholy?
No tears, not yet.
Not yet. We'll wait for a tear.
Alison, around.
No. James, have you got a tear for me? Can you cry for me?
Oh, yeah.
Can you?
Yeah.
Are you really sad that this is over?
Oh, yeah.
It's your last goodbye?
Yeah.
James,
Oh,
serious.
stop it. I will. Stop it. Do it.
Don't cry for me, I haven't seen it.
I hate to feel the world being too
Bradley will now be talking on vandalism. Welcome, ladies, gentlemen, and boys and girls. I'm here today to speak about vandalism, a willful act of destruction to public or private property, especially of anything beautiful or artistic. The spoiling or malicious damage of something artistic or cultural achievement. This describes vandalism to a T. There are many different types of vandalism, ranging from spray painting, knowingly ruining another person's reputation, damaging cars, and also knowingly polluting our waterways. I could go on forever, but I won't. Today I will start with spray painting. Spray artists can do a lot of great artwork with their spray cans, but some just waste their time and talent. I don't think vandalism is right to be on other people's property, or public property for that matter. I also think that if they had a legal place to do their art, you would find that our streets would become cleaner. The majority of the spray painting group spray paint walls in public and private property to impress their friends or relatives. And some do put ads in the newspapers and yellow pages to get hired, but mainly from companies that wish to decorate a wall. For example, if it is a tyre business or company, they will hire the artist and ask them to write the name of the company and then draw a picture of a car with big wheels. Now I think I'll move on to the next topic, which is knowingly ruining another person's reputation. This type of vandalism is called verbal vandalism. This vandalism is most disappointing type of vandalism. It is when you insult somebody's name. As an example, let's say Jane Lane. A person or enemy could say Jane is a pain, or something's worse. I won't repeat it. I won't say that. Okay. I think I'll start on this topic, which is damaging cars. Most of the cars that get done are stolen. After they are stolen, they are taken paddock bashing and then burnt out to destroy all signs that they have been in the car. But first they usually take radios, doors, etc. But this is not always the case. The other case is a two-bobbing car. This is when a person runs a key or a coin along the side of the car, also kicking the panels and smashing the window. They can also let the tyres down. Now I'll go to the last topic, which is knowingly polluting our waterways. This is when a person or people decide to throw things in the water, such as waste from a factory floor or just plain rubbish. And this is what would have to be one of the worst types of vandalism in my books. Just think, they're not only polluting our waterways, they are also killing our wildlife. That is either wildlife that either drink or live in the water. Please think twice before you vandalise. Thank you. Cassie will be talking about legalising marijuana.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm here today to talk to you about decriminalisation of marijuana. I believe marijuana should be decriminalised. Marijuana is presently an illegal drug everywhere in Australia besides ACT and South Australia. Marijuana is a plant grown from a small seed. Marijuana is listed by horticultural societies as a noxious weed. The plant can be dried and smoked. Marijuana can be addictive, but not as addictive as nicotine, alcohol, or other prescribed drugs. It also has many uses, such as material for clothes, thread, which can be turned into rope, and pulp for use for paper. It is believed that 1/3 of the population has or will smoke marijuana. Marijuana has less long-term effect mentally or physically on your body than any other illegal or subscribed drug, or than a lot of. It is believed that cigarettes and alcohol do more damage to your body than marijuana. Marijuana can be grown without THC, which is something that's contained in it. For its probably the most important use for marijuana is its medical properties. Marijuana has many medical uses, including a mild painkiller for things such as headaches, migraines, heart treatment in long-term or chronic illness such as cancer, and it can be used to counter hyperactiveness and a mild stress relief. On the other hand, small petty cases for marijuana charges are cramming our courts. Taxpayers are paying for pathetic fines while murderers are waiting for trial. Taxpayers would rather see murderers jailed than marijuana smokers fined. Marijuana is a safe, effective way of ridding some dangerous prescription drugs. If marijuana is not as bad for you as some legal drugs, why not legalise it? Thank you.
On judging people on appearances.
Teachers and fellow students, the topic I've chosen to speak to you about today is judging people by appearance. My opinion on this topic is that people should not be judged by their appearance because you cannot tell what a person's character is like, how rich or poor someone is, or whether someone is good or bad at something just by looking at them. You cannot tell what a person's character is like just by their appearance. For instance, someone may look very stuck up, but if you take the time to go past their appearance and start to chat with them, you may find that they are just as friendly as many other people. By looking at someone's house or car, you cannot tell what their financial situation is. For example, some people may have big, extremely beautiful houses, yet they may be very in debt. On the other hand, someone may have a little bomby car, but they may have a stack of money just sitting in a bank account waiting to be used. Or maybe those people just don't like fancy cars. Also, those people may have many other assets of one sort or another in other locations. Another example is people that wear name brand clothes. This does not necessarily mean that they are rich. They may have been presents for occasions such as Christmas or birthdays. If people do not wear name brand clothes, this does not mean we are to automatically assume that they are on the bottom end of the income chain. An example of this is my mother. If you took one look at what she wears outside of school hours, you would put your head down and walk the other way, and there's no way in the world you would think her occupation is principal. Judging whether people are good or bad at something is a thing that many people do, and even though looks can often be deceiving, they still continue to do it. You cannot tell what a person is capable of just by their size, shape, race, sex or colour. Take a larger than average person in a sporting event, for example. People just think, oh, don't worry about him or her, he or she's too fat to be able to do anything anyway. But then again, that person may be very accomplished at it. There is no difference to what a person can do just because of what colour they are. A black person is just as capable of paying the wall as a white person. There are some areas in which the opposite sex cannot perform as well as the other, but there are many areas in which the other sex is discriminated against. An example of this is that men are often considered macho, tough and strong, but nowadays women are just as strong and able to withstand the things that men do, such as lifting something heavy or defending themselves against someone who attacks them. But a woman capable of doing such things then brings on another stereotype image to herself, that is one of being a butch. One last thing is that if people are going to take you for what you look like and not who you are, then they are not worth worrying about. And they need to take a good look inside themselves and realise that the best looking people aren't even perfect before they go placing degrading tags on other people. Because like the old saying goes, you can't judge a book by its cover. It's the same with people, you can't judge them by their appearance. Thank you. This criminal is speaking about her femme. Why? In essence, there is one factor that makes the Pridhams the Pridhams. We're all totally insane. And from that factor, everything spirals out. Everyone and everything is a psychopath. My parents, the ones who started the legacy, live in a dreamland of their own. And in this dreamland, there is a certain pecking order. That is, the parents equals gods. No laws apply to them. When they are at home, they rule. They are justice, judge and jury. They are the rulers of Marimba and no one stands in their way, except for maybe the cat. I sometimes have to wonder what that cat knows to be treated so well by my parents. My cat must be the only cat in the world that has been knighted. Her lady, Grey, has her power because my father is so fond of her. She is blind in one eye, she has only 3 teeth, and she seems to have lost a few too many brain cells. Between the hours of 6 and 7 in the morning, though, she is wined, dined, and talked to by my father. Their conversation ranges from meow to meow meow, and on the mornings when they are both feeling amiable, meow meow meow. This all occurs when I am trying to sleep, and let me assure you now, meowing is not a quiet act in our household. The other animals, however, are not outdone by the cat. No, we have a range of animals with a range of mental disorders. The one with the most amount of problems has to be Chester, my dog. Chester was dropped on his head as a puppy, and we think that must have caused his lack of intelligence. We tried to put him through some sort of basic training, like sit, but we never succeeded. We decided to let him roam free and he could be what he wanted to be, even if that was a raving lunatic. So now he spends his time running around in circles, barking at my pair of guinea pigs. My least favourite pet would have to be my mother's mouse. I hate him because he smells. Sometimes my mother will take him out of his cage, and when you walk into the room, a smell will sort of reach out and punch you in the face. It is truly vile. The strange thing about this is, though, my mother can't smell it. She thinks that his body odour is non-existent, and that somehow we are jealous of the mouse, and that is why we try to slander him. But no, that's still not all. We have two other fine specimens, a sheep and a goat. The goat thinks it's a horse. I don't know why, it just does. You call out here, horsey, 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 and a moment later, two horses will appear, closely followed by a goat, trying to keep up. And then there's the sheep. One little sheep. This sheep owns its own paddock. Why? Because everyone else is too scared of it. It patrols the border fences, and when any other animal comes near, it sort of baas a warning. And if you still keep on advancing, you soon find you have a sheep heading towards you at a very fast rate. And it won't stop until you're too far away. Many a time, my brother has encouraged people to go and pat the nice little sheepy. So in they go, with a handful of hay, and then, a few moments later, out they come, still with a handful of hay, but also with a fast-moving sheep. But back to some humans. My mother is a technological moron. It is the computer that worries her the most. Every weekend she has something she wants typed up. So she'll stride into my room, sit down at my desk, and look expectantly at the computer. And then she'll get a sort of dazed look on her face as she tries to remember just which button it is that turns it on. I have now labelled the power button with a large green arrow. But when she gets into Windows, she's had it. She knows that somewhere in the process you have to click on something. What? She's not quite sure. So after clicking on everything on the screen and pressing every button, she will turn off the computer and walk out, declaring that she can write it by hand. You may be wondering why I never mention myself in this household's maniac society. Well, that is because I am in the stage of denial. My brother and I are still holding on to the faint hope that we are adopted. But slowly, as the years go past, that hope is fading. Their evil influence is beginning to wear off on us. Occasionally we find ourselves wearing odd socks or laughing at visitors being chased around by a mad sheep. So we pinch ourselves and try to snap out of it. But it is happening more and more, and someday we're going to wake up and have a mad desire to go and talk to the cat. Yes, my brother and I know we are becoming Pridhams.
Front running at the moment. Who's winning this? Who's Pridhams? Yeah, but who do you want to win?
Hannah.
Hannah. Yeah. Okay, well, maybe in the impromptu.
We're going to do our song for Hannah.
Going to do a song now?
Will be the thrill of a lifetime. Each speaker has had 5 minutes to prepare and will speak for 2 minutes. Their warning with bell will be at 1.5 minutes. Chris Pigeon will the sitter.
They're just fellow students. They gave me this topic, the thrill of a lifetime. The thrill of a lifetime for me would be doing the deed with Pamela Anderson, or maybe getting martial arts lessons up there. Maybe become a movie star. But they are all dreams. The real thrill of a lifetime would be bungee jumping, or diving, deep diving down the sea, or going on those jet boats through the rocks. Thanks.
You enjoyed it, I can see you smiling. What do you think, Rob? I'm not saying anything. Not saying anything on camera? Not without the manager? Smell.
Because he just came straight out with it. The Pamela Anderson thing. And really, what's the attraction to someone with silicone boobs? And I also think that Liz did really well because she was so nervous. And I think these two people over here, would you like to get a shot of them? Yeah, they were they were more nervous for Liz than Liz, because she's our friend.
She's your friend?
Yeah. And I think she should be, yeah.
What about you girls? Is there anyone, who's your best competition? Who's she been challenged by?
What's the Hannah and Rebecca?
Well, we really meant
a lifetime. Now, it wasn't exactly what I was expecting, so just bear with us. Okay. What would you consider to be the thrill of a lifetime? The school burning, school being closed due to contamination of rats, which some unearthly person put in there, or Mrs. Brennan having a heart attack. Thrill of a lifetime. Would this be a good idea or a bad idea? Most people would consider Mrs. Brennan having a heart attack a bad idea, but after all she's done for the school, most would consider it's a bad idea. So, in all honesty, will we miss school? Most of us would answer this right now saying no. Others would say, well, I want my school certificate, the high one too, so I'm going to say I will miss school. Having the thrill of a life, could this be considered a bad thing as well? Having a lovely day out, Luna Park, Wonderland, the other one, what is it? I don't know what it is. Anyway, one of those fun parks. Anyway, coming back and finding your mother dead. Is this a good thrill or a bad thrill? Would this send you into convulsions as well, from the shock of it all? Anyway, bad thrills aren't as good as good thrills, some would say, but other people would say it's very good. I'm going to end now because I don't even know what I'm talking about. Next, we have Amber Bradley. Okay, well, as you all know, the topic is the thrill of my lifetime. And, well, I haven't really had a thrill of a lifetime yet. But I suppose the Dean that shows on Glen was pretty cool. Apart from the fact that it was really scary and nearly with my pants. I suppose going to school is a bit of a thrill. You don't have to sit at home all day. Just sit around, lunch, So, what is a thrill of a lifetime? I mean, I haven't had one yet, as I've said.
I believe the thrill of a lifetime is almost impossible to write about because you have to live a full lifetime and then go back and remember all the thrills you had. But my idea of a good thrill would have to be probably free falling from a high cliff over a waterfall or something. Thanks.
Teachers and fellow students, the topic I've been given to speak to you for my impromptu today is the thrill of a lifetime. Different people get different thrills. A lot of it has to do with their age, sex and their maturity level. An example of this is that some older boys but with a lower maturity level seek their thrills of how large a girl's cleavage is. Whereas some boys with a higher level of maturity seek their thrills from better things such as frogs or a certain sport they enjoy. One of my favourite thrills of a lifetime was being able to stand up here today and talk to enthusiastic listeners about how people should not be judged by their appearance because you cannot tell what a person's character how rich or poor someone is or whether someone is good or bad at something just by looking at them.
When we asked Mr. Carr what we should say in the speech, he suggested that we take off our clothes and dance around. That is, if we could stand it. But I couldn't. That just wouldn't be the thrill of the lifetime for me, and probably not for you. Which brings me to today's topic. I suppose this means, what is our ultimate desire in life? Well, at the moment, not having to do this speech sounds pretty damn good to me. Yes, the thrill of a lifetime would be that the earth swallowed me up right now. But seriously, I think that the thrill of a lifetime would have to be the day I died. Yes, because then I know I could have the whole of eternity to revenge my death and to revenge other certain things that I have hated in my lifetime. So that is the thrill of a lifetime for me. Not very thrilling, I know, but the only thing that you can think of when you're standing in front of so many people, dying and hoping that the earth will swallow you up.
Mr. Whitner and I have had the pleasure of adjudicating this public speaking competition today, and as is usual, I'd like to congratulate all of the speakers. Now I know that might be a bit of a cliche and it might sound a little bit insincere, but I think that these people have made a genuine attempt to do something that's very difficult. I'm sure that you all appreciate how difficult it is just to get up in front of your class to speak, to get up in front of the sea of faces that I can see in front of me magnifies the difficulty quite considerably, especially if the audience is not as supportive as it might have been. Now there are always two parts to this exercise of public speaking. The speakers play their part, and all of the speakers today played their part very well. The audience plays its part. And I'd like to be able to say that the audience played their part well today, but I'm afraid I can't. I feel that it's extremely disappointing, if not in fact cowardly, for some people to bury themselves in the anonymity of the mob and make supposedly funny little comments, which in fact can be extremely intimidating for the people who are out the front. Now obviously if you've got something to say which is entertaining and witty, it would be much better if you were standing out the front and delivering the speech, rather than making it difficult for those people who are at the front. Now, having got that off my chest, obviously the most important thing is what were the results of the speaking competition today. Mr. Whitner and I both agreed that Liz Pridham was the person who did the most effective job, both in the prepared speech and in the impromptu. And it was probably particularly in the impromptu that Liz showed her strengths as a speaker. Even though she may not have spoken for the full allocated time, she spoke very fluently, and she was able to structure her talk in a way that made it very easy to follow, and you could see a logical development all the way through the speech. She also was not quite as intimidated by the audience, and she didn't restrict herself in the way that some of the other speakers did. A lot of the speakers made the mistake of simply saying, well, what would be the greatest thrill of a lifetime that I can imagine? And as soon as you do that, you limit yourself. The idea of the impromptu is to see what you can make of a topic. And most people seem to fall into the mistake of simply saying, I've got to talk about what my greatest thrill of a lifetime is. And once you've said it, really you haven't got all that much else to say. And I think that was something that Liz did extremely well. Her prepared speech was very entertaining, and once again, all very well structured, very easy for the audience to follow. One of the pieces of advice I'd give to all of the speakers is, if you get a response from the audience, even if it's a response that you didn't actually expect, some people laugh in a place that you weren't expecting them to laugh, always wait until they finish laughing before you plough on with your speech. There were a number of times, particularly in the impromptu section where there was obviously an unexpected reaction from the audience, but the person out the front continued talking, and to be quite frank, Mr. Whitten and I could not hear what was said while the audience were laughing. So we, as I said, had Liz as the winner of the competition and Rebecca as the runner-up. Congratulations to everyone. Another round.
Their performance tonight. They are performing two pieces. The Concerto in D major was originally written for a trumpet solo and string orchestra. This version has been arranged for strings and a harpsichord. The second item is the Russian Sailors Band by Vier, and this lively piece comes from the composer's opera called The Red Poppy. The music helps us to visualise the strident dancing of the Russian sailors, interspersed with sudden changes in mood and tempo. before they present the last item, I think it'd be appropriate if you could give them a really good round of applause for our combined choir and orchestra. Thank you. They will now present For the Beauty of the Earth by John Rutter. This is the final item of tonight's concert and features students from all the high schools of the Southern Highlands. This piece is a new setting of the hymn by the contemporary English composer John Rutter. The words are an evocative hymn of praise to the Creator of all the gifts of creation. The orchestral parts are by Greg Elsmore from the original piano score by the composer. The combined choir has always been a particular thrilling finale to the music of youth concerts in the past years, and I'm sure this year they will bring even a higher standard to the climax of a lovely evening. Thank you.
by